Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to the MF show for Thursday, October 21st. Get a little chop going. Braves get it done in game 4. Smiles all around. Snitker, not known for making the right decision all the time, if the majority of the time, but gets it right. As we said, throws Noah. Smiley, game 4, plays it safe, setting up that Freed, Anderson, Morton, 5, 6, 7 that they are not knocking off no matter what. Gets rewarded for it with the game 4 win. The bats come up big. They come up big early like we said they would. We get the Braves score first prop. Maybe we'll have to look into more of those. But just with this team, such a response. Yeah, I think you can basically start shilling the Braves World Series like it's Bitcoin or something to your friends, family you don't want to miss out. I mean, they're not knocking off that trio. Now, looks like the Astros are advancing. We leaned Astros, leaned their experience, leaned the Red Sox kind of folding up shop. Looks like the Astros are going to advance, and that chasm in pitching. I mean, that's like the Pacific Ocean where it's the pitching difference. Your 2021 World Series champions. I feel like I'm like, you know those people that buy the S&P index every day, just buy a little bit every day? I'm like that guy with the Braves, and I fucking love it. Leaned App State. I don't know. Chase Bryce, I got no read on you, man. They get it done outright a week after he looked like the most inept quarterback since Sam Darnold. Got no idea, but Arlene's get the job done. Was a good day on the Lynx. I ended up living a little bit of them, but whatever. Moving on to Thursday, game 5. Let's see what the pitching matchup looks like and stuff. I can see the Braves just sticking a fork in them. But we got a couple of football games. UNLV +4 is looking kind of tasty. Even without a quarterback, we take UNLV +250 last week against Utah State. A pretty good Utah State team. I don't know how good they are, but they do have that wide receiver. The Thompson kid is probably an NFL player. He has an elite skill like quickness. He'll make it onto the field somehow. And he kind of won them that game. Outside of a few big plays in, they had everything bottled up. What did they give up? We had them +250, and they gave up a touchdown with like 30 seconds ago to lose after leading the whole game. Felt like that was definitely the right side. It was the right side. I like their defensive line. They got a couple of dudes on that team, like the Weinman or something like that. He's like an end linebacker hybrid dude. Dude's all over the field. I really like him. A couple of them. I think their defensive line will have success, limited enough. San Jose State hasn't looked good, right? We took the under last week with them versus San Diego State because their offense looks so bad. They got the backup quarterback, the Nick Nash kid. If they're not going to have a consistent running game, which I don't see any probability of them having a consistent running game against this defensive line for UNLV, that Nash kid's going to be required to do a lot. He does seem like a winner, like can get out, throw on the run, stuff like that. His mobility should be a big help for San Jose State. I can see him like making some plays down the stretch to like eke out a win or something by a field goal. As long as we get 4 here, I think we're comfortable doing it. We have the quarterback situation at UNLV. The Brumfield kid's obviously out. The Friel kid makes poor decisions anyways, kind of whatever on him being out. But now we're down to the guy who originally started the year, Rogers, or Tate frickin' Martell. Tate Martell, Bishop Gorman kid. Is this his time? I mean, he's had no semblance of a college career, anything, any moments, nothing. Is Thursday, October 21st, Tate Martell's night? Possibly. Just give us something. We have a good running back. Play sound football. Don't make too many mistakes. We're going to be in this game. Maybe it's Tate Martell's day. Feels a little bit like UNLV is going to be right in this game. Single score possession the entire game. Maybe have a lead for a little bit. Probably give it up at the end. And somehow San Jose State gets a late win or something. You can either look to live that. I'm taking UNLV +4. They have a really good defensive line. They really do. They have some good players on defense there. The Arroyo coach, he's trying, if nothing else. I don't know how good an actual coach he is. He played it way too safe last week. They win that game. A very high probability at the time with the matchup. But they should be able to run the ball pretty consistently here and make his life a little easier. They weren't able really to run it against Utah State. So make your life a little bit easier. Run the ball a ton. Don't turn it over. Let your defense play. And try and win it late, UNLV. Thursday night football. The Browns are down to -2 versus... I just literally saw this, versus the Broncos. I'm assuming that means Baker's out. If I didn't check that. I probably should have before I started, but I'll be quick. We don't have too much more to talk about. Yeah, Case Keenum. I'll take it. I'll take Case Keenum versus the Broncos. They're terrible. I feel like, like the Grinch or something. His heart grew 3 sizes that day. I feel like Teddy's cock has shrunk 3 sizes this year. I don't know what's going on there, but like Fangio, who is the offensive coordinator there? He's terrible too. He's just outdated. They're like play calling so outdated. Their team just feels like it's stuck in the 70s. Pat freaking Shurmur, dude. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Pat Shurmur, what are we doing? That team is so out of whack. Complete fraudulence. I can't believe. I feel like I think I didn't bet on them early in the season. No, I couldn't have. They're so bad. Did I? I don't know. They're such a bad team. The Browns, I mean, that was just like a collection of the worst crap to happen to you one after the other last game. Like, they're calling, like, Dino, you playing? They're calling, did you see that roughing the passer on when somebody got pushed, some offensive lineman pushed the defensive end into Kyler Murray? He just got knocked back a little bit, still on his feet, and they called a frickin' roughing the passer. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong last week. The Browns are still going to win this game. It's only -2. I mean, we got to take the Browns, right? What am I missing here? I mean, you can have a million injuries. Offensive line, cornerbacks, quarterback, all the most important positions. The Broncos are still a dumpster, and the Browns are still like a very, very good team with good team chemistry and everything. As much as Odell tries to hurt it, they do have to ship that guy out. You're not going to make those kind of catches. You got to be out, dude. But Browns are not it, dude. You're taking the Broncos. I don't know if you're one of these people pulling the line down, like value or something. Not in my eyes, man. Not in my eyes. Let's do some first. So, dude, my eyes are lighting up. Looking at this UFC Vegas 41 card. Dude, I think there's a lot of opportunities on this puppy. If you ever watch Paulo Costa and Marvin Vittori's little like ESPN interview thing where they agreed on catch weight today, you got to watch that. Paulo Costa's looking for every reason to get this fight canceled. It's pretty funny watching Vittori react to it. He's if you're taking Paulo Costa, good luck to you. Even if he's much bigger, whatever, he's coming in at like 215. He can have a huge weight advantage. He can have a huge whatever advantage. I'm not playing that game. That's insane. The guy just, I think he broke him, huh? He might have just broken him. I heard that, and then Vittori in comparison, I heard was out like running 5 miles right after losing a 5-round fight to Izzy. So comparison of the two things, the other guy's canceling fights because of hair plugs. But what I want to get into, there are some matchups on here. We touched on it last time. We touched on a couple of these either last night or the night before, whatever, when we first did the breakdowns. Yo, Ricky Glenn, I've broken down a ton more tape on this. Watch the media day interviews. I think Grant Dawson looks a little nervous. I think he's self-soothing with some excuses and stuff. I've been watching in interviews about how, like, moving towards the top 10 or whatever, but, like, the one thing I would step back for is a fight against a vet like Clay Guida or something like that. Bro, you're making excuses because this Ricky Glenn matchup started to scare you because he's got the nuts on you. I think this is a tough position. I think, dude, Ricky Glenn's a better fighter than he's ever been. I thought he was already pretty good. Dude, the dude, like, got his hips and everything fixed and everything like that, and you just see the way he's moving. He like, must have been in a ton of pain and stuff when he was fighting before because he had, like, no flexibility or mobility, like, in his movements, looked so stiff. He looks kind of smooth and bouncy now. I think he's got way more power. He said as much in an interview. Dude, I think this is a dangerous guy. I think it's a dangerous matchup. Grant Dawson drops his right hand when he throws his jab or when he throws a kick or something like that. Rick Glenn's going to be throwing hard lefts. Some hard left hooks, some hard left straights. He's got some nice, that one he landed Silva with or whatever, maybe Joaquim Silva's got a glass chin and stuff like that. That was a nice punch. I think Grant Dawson's going to have some serious problems. He went 1 for 13 on takedowns on Leonardo Santos in his last fight. It's up at lightweight. Grant Dawson's takedowns and stuff. I'm not sure they translate as well at lightweight. And when you're not fighting guys that just have absolutely zero takedown defense, like Michael Trizano, you watch that fight. I was kind of high on Trizano for a little bit. Dude, I hadn't seen that fight. He's getting taken down by stuff where Dawson's just laying on the ground, grabbing at his ankle. There's some bad stuff in that fight. I think Dawson's a little bit of a fraud, like Nad Narimani. Derek Minner's just spamming guillotines on you until his arms get so tired. He's so tired. He's I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know, man. I think Leonardo Santos beats him if he's 1 year younger. He just was a teeny bit too slow on exiting the pocket and stuff, getting clipped by things. I think normally Leonardo Santos wins that. I think he might have been winning the fight up until he got finished with a second to go in the third round. Who knows what would have happened. Julian Erosa was having a ton of success. He just couldn't didn't have enough pop on his shots. Didn't he's too loopy, weird. I don't know. Rick Glenn's a lot crisper, but if you see Julian Erosa's having a lot of success with standing on the feet, everybody has a lot of success beating him up on the feet. I don't know, man. Rick Glenn scrambles well. Look at all these fights. Dennis Bermudez can't keep him down. Georgi Karakin or whatever can't keep him down. He's consistently scrambling. He's going to make Dawson work if Dawson does take him down. There's a chasm on the feet. I don't know. I think the one thing Dawson can do that's going to be open is teeps and body kicks and head kicks. But if you look at the way he's shaped with the big upper body and the small lower body, kind of like Derek Brunson, it's you're not built to just whip kicks and stuff. If you see against Santos, it's a similar type matchup and he starts throwing a bunch of kicks in the beginning. He doesn't keep throwing them throughout the fight because it's too much on his cardio that and the wrestling and all that. He doesn't have the gas tank to do that, dude. Doesn't have the gas tank to just do that for however much he needs to initiate his game plan and win this fight. I don't know, man. I think Grant's going to get humbled here. I think he is a little bit fraudulent. And if you watch him in interviews and stuff, this kid needs a slice of humble pie. Just the way he's talking, just complaining about other fighters. It's worry about yourself, bro. Don't be and then he's just a little over cocky, calling this guy the Richard whole thing, and then he apologizes, but it's a backwards half-ass apology. James Krause, come get your boy, dude. Coming off as kind of whatever, man. I'm older. He's coming off as a disrespectful punk, man. I think Ricky Glenn is gonna. I think Ricky Glenn's about to take this kid to the house. I think it's a way better matchup for him. I don't know, man. I don't see Dawson keeping him down. Dawson's not gonna submit him. Dude, I don't know how Dawson's winning this fight as a minus 400. I think Rick Glenn plus 300. I need someone to talk me. I feel like I'm in an insane asylum or something like that. Just as clear as day to me. I think if you're on the Dawson side, you're crazy. I would love to know. Spam me in the comments. Joselyne Edwards is sitting, she was last around plus 125-ish range against, why can't I find that? Yeah. Ooh, up to plus 135 in some spots against Jessica Rose Clark. Need to get in the tape breakdown a little bit more, but given the big reach advantage, younger, Jessica Rose Clark is coming off a torn ACL, so movement-wise and being able to be explosive enough and to be able to bully and initiate your game plan. Not sure about that. And the one other thing I would say is, she got the ACL and everything, and obviously you have medicine to help you get through those hard times and stuff. She seems different in her interviews. I'm not throwing around anything like that, but she seems a little different in her interviews. Very talkative, very giving more answers than need to be given in her media day interview, she brought up like kind of pain pills, and then was like, but I only took them for a few days because, you know, I didn't like them and whatever. And it was just like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if, and just given that plus everything, I don't know, man. I'm looking at Joselyne Edwards. Alex Caceres against Seungwoo Choi. I'm not sure about this one yet, but man, I feel bad. Like, I'm like, I don't want to accuse people of anything, but like, you know, I'm from the East Coast. I know a lot of people, been through a lot of things, whatever, and like what you're seeing, whatever, uncomfortable, whatever. The Alex Caceres moving on through versus Seungwoo Choi. I'm looking at the spot as a huge dog. I'm noticing Seungwoo Choi is slow, man. For that weight class, like, he's a little bit slow and like leaves himself open for some counters. Alex Caceres might be just like a little too fast. I think he's tough enough. He's been through a bunch of wars and stuff like that, where Youssef Zalal, the biggest problem for Youssef in that fight was he was afraid. And he just like wanted to like try and clinch and do whatever and just not get hit, because Choi does seem to have some pretty good power. Caceres has been finished by strikes once in his career, and it was like kind of weird against a Francisco Rivero guy, where like he got hit with a right and stuff and went down, but was kind of scrambling and stuff. And then like it wasn't really like he was fighting back, but then the ref is like, hey, and he just kind of looks up at him like, what the fuck? Why'd you stop it? So it was like a weird situation, but he didn't go out cold. I think his chin's fine versus the power. And like with the speed advantage, like when Seungwoo Choi like it kind of comes in, he was like throwing his jab. It's like a slow freaking jab, just slip and rip the guy's body with all your kicks and stuff like that. I think a lot of things are going to be open for Caceres. He's apparently got pretty good jiu-jitsu and stuff. I remember his takedown defense isn't like bad. He has so much more experience. I mean, I don't know, like does KOing Julian Erosa, Youssef Zalal just clinging on to you scared, and then beating whoever this Suman Mokhtarian guy. I mean, he's like a 5'8" guy. I just watched that fight. He's like a little 5'8" guy. Like, what's that guy gonna do? I think a lot of things are open. I gotta confirm on this, but as a big dog, I don't know. Alex Caceres seems super, super live to me. Another big favorite I just don't agree with, Nicolae Negemereanu. Like, this guy's like minus 270, up to 270 in some spots. Oh, whatever. But the comeback, so you're getting like plus 200 on Ike Villanueva. I'm not positive we should definitely, you definitely want to put your money on Ike Villanueva. He seems to have about like a round and change of cardio. He did say he was working on it in an interview. But he seems like, you know, that's a little limited. He's limited to being a boxer. But in this matchup, this Nicolae Negemereanu guy just like throws from the hips, completely leaving his hands down, head open, everything. Like, if you look in that Khama, when I was watching it originally, like, I think you have the bias when you're watching, like, you're like, oh, I should have been on the big dog, and it's like a really close fight. Rewatching that fight, Khama clearly won that fight. It was just bad optics, because like every time he got hit, he like, you know, was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And every time Negemereanu got hit, he just walked forward, but just like eating left hooks after hook after this after that, just like no striking defense whatsoever, plodding forward. If there's one thing Ike Villanueva could do, he can throw punches. He's got dirty left hook. He can throw punches. He's got like 20 years. The guy's 37. He's probably got 20 years of boxing experience. I don't care about the 10-year difference. This Negemereanu guy is a plus 200-something versus Alexa Khama, who sucks. And now he's a minus 260 favorite against a guy, a vet with heart, who, you know, isn't, you know, the best himself maybe. Doesn't have the best, like, ceiling. But this is a pretty tailor-made matchup. If you're just going to walk forward with your hands down against an experienced boxer, how are you going to be a minus like 250 favorite? Makes absolutely no sense to me. Villanueva or nada. Jai Herbert over Khama worthy. I mean, this is like, he had two really bad fights, two tough fights against Moicano and Trinaldo, two vets that were like eventually able to initiate their game plans and stuff. Worthy's chinny, dude. He's been knocked down a million times, and now I don't know. I got to watch some more interviews to make sure he's not going to like consistently. If he pushes a wrestling game plan hardcore, I think he can win this. Because I know he works with Penn State wrestlers and stuff like that. I know he's used them to prep for like matchups like Pena and stuff like that. So maybe if he wants to push that, but otherwise, if this just stays on the feet, he's going to get KO'd, and I think he's going to get KO'd early. Just too many. I don't understand that. Too many weapons. He's got like maybe a little bit of a power edge or something, but it's just like rolling the dice because you have such a glass chin. And if you're taking, I've taken a 43-year-old Francisco Trinaldo on short notice. Yeah, I probably can't wreck that. Just like, it might be hard to eventually wreck Villanueva, but you cannot take Negemereanu. I don't think you can take Dwight Grant. I mean, the guy's got he's got to fight, I guess, a really, really smart fight and dance around the edge of the octagon and stuff because Trinaldo's got a lead chin. The power's not going to matter. But I guess like 43-year-old on short notice is just going to be a slow, like a moving object in the middle of the cage. It's just whatever. Dwight Grant lost to like that Sekulic guy his last time out. He was like the sparring partner for Dusty Dusko Todorovic before he left. He probably got kicked out of the UFC. I hope he did. He was like a sparring partner for him who was off for like 3 years. And Dwight Grant lost that fight. I know what I saw. He lost that fight. This guy's only got 3-fight losing streak to it's like, Daniel Rodriguez fight was fun, but Francisco Trinaldo's got a lead chin. I think it's got to be Trinaldo or nada. Somebody tell me what I'm missing with this Ricky Glenn spot. I just don't know. I feel like he should be a favorite. He's at plus 300. I hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful... A lot of hands today, like playing rocks, paper, scissors with myself and shit. Have a wonderful Thursday.